Dot Roan, broker owner of Century 21 Cover Purchase Realty, and with me today are
Angela Young, Realtor.
Carey Smith, Realtor.
Sue Barczyk, broker owner.
Today we're going to talk to you about things that you need to consider when thinking about buying a home. Buying a home is the American dream. It's a sign of success. But there are things that you have to consider and think about before taking that plunge.
For example, I like to talk to my buyers about their budget and making sure that the house payment that they're pre-approved for is actually a payment that they're comfortable making. I think a good rule of thumb would be to look at how much you're paying in rent and then determine how much more each month you think you could handle.
Well, I think it's also important too, buyers sometimes come to the table and they realize that they can afford their monthly payment, they can afford their closing costs, but then they forget that they have the application fee and that they have inspections that have to be paid outside of closing. So I always go over that in the buyer counseling session with them, that they're gonna have these certain things that they have to pay for,
right?
Because they don't realize that. They think it's all lumped into their closing costs payable at closing.
No, I'm very careful to explain that on the first day that you make your offer, you're going to do a good faith deposit, followed very quickly by within 7 days with the application fee to the bank, followed very quickly by your home inspection fees, followed very quickly by 1 year of homeowner's insurance.
Right.
And even though these are closing costs that your lender may tell you are closing costs, they do have to be paid before you get to the closing table. I think really important for people to understand that.
Yep. And the root of all of it is getting to the right lender.
Absolutely.
Choose a reputable lender. We've dealt with lenders that the week before closing, or day before closing sometimes, issues come up and closing is either delayed, postponed, or even worse, gone. So it's getting to the right lender, and the lender can prepare you for all of those things up front as well.
Well, and unfortunately, just because you bank with an institution doesn't make them a great mortgage lender.
It's true.
So that's what we're here for, is to help guide them.
Yes.
Now, another thing that you have to consider on top of the mortgage is that once you own a home, you have to maintain that home, so you have to pay for certain things in maintenance. You also have to pay your utilities, your taxes, so there are other fees on top of what your mortgage payment, principal, and interest are. So you need to keep that in mind in your budget and how you're purchasing the home.
Often we can get a year's worth of utility costs for a buyer so that they can consider that with their budget. Along with the principal, interest, tax, and insurance payment, they can add in the utilities and make sure it's a very comfortable feeling.
And the last thing you want to do is purchase a home and have that be the only thing that you can afford. You still want to be able to go to the movies or go to Knoebels, a local amusement park here. You want to be able to do fun things on top of just owning a home.
Enjoy dinner and a nice glass of wine or something.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
You know what? It sounds like all these things that we're telling people that they need to do, we're like Debbie Downers. But you know what? There's a great side to home ownership. There are costs, that you're going to incur that you don't as a tenant, but let's not forget equity buildup and appreciation. Each month you pay the same amount every month. At the end of the term, you own the property free and clear. In the meantime, you're building equity, you're building your wealth. Also, appreciation. Each year that you own the property, you make small improvements to it. A few years from now, because we do live in Pennsylvania, a very conservative state, a few years from now, the house is going to be worth more. More years than that, it's going to be worth way more than what you paid for it. I mean, our own situation, my first house, we paid $20,000 for it. And we sold our third house, I believe it was, for $270,000 and had almost $200,000 to put on our new construction. There is no way with 2 kids we would have ever saved $200,000. Wouldn't have happened. So your home is a great way to build equity, take advantage of appreciation, and build wealth that you could never do as a tenant.
Well, and you can, a lot of programs out there, you can get in a home with little or no money down as well. So it's not like you need to have 20% down or you need to have a certain dollar amount. You can get in with a low.
In some cases, no down payment.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. And also closing cost assistance.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ways for you to get into a home as long as you have good credit and stable income. Okay. Also, when you do buy a home, you have to think about possible repairs, so you do need to have a nest egg. You know, you have to have some savings accumulated, so if something does go wrong, that you're able then to have it repaired, to be able to fix it.
Keeps up with the maintenance.
Yep.
In the long run, owning a home is to your advantage. You just need to understand what it's going to take and how you're going to get to the home ownership and how to deal with the house once you own it.
And it's a sense of community. It's pride of ownership. It's part of being part of the community, and you know, it just feels good to be a homeowner.
And when you own, you can do whatever you want. If you want to have a cat or a dog, you don't have to ask anyone's permission.
Absolutely.
Or in Sue's case, a horse. You know, you can have what, you know, when you own it. If you want to paint the walls purple, you can. Although we don't always advise that.
Right.
Just know if you go to sell it, we're going to advise you to take it back to cream.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
So, but it's the enjoyment of owning your own property and being able to do whatever you want with it.
Right. So as you see, there's a lot to consider when you're thinking about buying a home. If we can help at all, please reach out to us at Century 21 Cover Bridges Realty, and visit our YouTube channel and subscribe so that you can hear more tips that we're offering every week for you, and also our Facebook business page at Century 21 Cover Bridges Realty. So until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.